Hi, I'm John. Welcome to my channel, Fibromyalgia Sucks. Okay, today I wanted to talk about doctors, what you should expect from them, what they expect from you, and most importantly, what to do if they don't believe you, which happens very frequently. Let me explain. So, bad doctors, what should you do? Well, it's simple really. Find another one. If a doctor is showing you any signs of not being helpful whatsoever, not believing you, not trusting the information that you're giving, then change them. There's many doctors out there. It's very easy to find doctors. I know those people that obviously live in areas where there's one doctor for the whole village. I don't know what to say about those. Check forums in your local area, fibromyalgia forums, for doctors that understand, doctors that are capable, that they know what they're doing. I've had probably 80% bad doctors, bad advice, bad attitude, which is probably the worst, where I'm basically told to get a grip, get over it, get back to work. One doctor promised that at this point I was on the morphine patches as well as the coke-holdamol, and that was enough to enable me to get to the toilet. I was that bad, and promised me that he would send me a prescription before he went away. He failed to do so. He went on holiday, leaving me in agony for 2 weeks. I hope he had a nice holiday. That was one of my darkest periods where I nearly lost it. I nearly ended my life because I was in so much pain. I just couldn't cope whatsoever. I actually went in to see the other full-time doctor in the surgery, and I have to give her the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't her patient. She could have just opened my file and see what my regular doctor was prescribing me, but she chose not to do so, and she said I could have 7 tablets. No, none of the morphine patches. The 7 tablets, I was taking 3 at a time, would have lasted me the afternoon. She said that should last you for the week that was left till the doctor got back. So absolutely no understanding there. I've wanted to complain officially about more doctors than I'd like to count. They seem to be in this old mindset. It's like, you know, they learnt about fibromyalgia when they first trained 30 years ago, and since then they've not read a damn thing about it, or they just don't believe it. But I've now found a doctor in Malta. My old doctor in Norway, he was very good as well. very good. He had up and down periods, but essentially he was good. He was the one that put me onto the morphine patches, or sent me to the doctor that could give me the morphine patches because he wasn't allowed to. Sorry, I haven't got my new tripod yet, so I'm just having to hold this by hand, so my apologies. Obviously fibromyalgia. So the doctor that I have here, he actually works at a pain clinic. It's his pain clinic, and he's very knowledgeable about fibromyalgia and other chronic illnesses. And let me tell you this one piece of advice about doctors. When they say it's in your head, they can't be more truthful. And I'm not talking about it from their perspective, which is it's in your head, you know, it's a figment of your imagination. What I'm saying is having a doctor that understands you, believes you, is 80% of the battle right there. Having somebody on your side that cares, having somebody knowledgeable about your condition and knowledgeable about the ways to treat that, that is the most important thing. So it's horrible going to a new doctor and going through explaining the same things over and over. I get that, but you will feel better and you will get better care and better treatment by finding that one doctor that does give a shit, that does care. It's so important to do that. I can't stress that enough. Of all the things I've learned on this 16-year journey, it is get the correct doctor. It truly is. 100%. So please find the correct doctor. Okay. Back in a minute. Okay, so what should you expect from your doctor? Well, little understanding. The doctors that I've liked the most and been most helpful to me are the ones that actually give you the extra 5 minutes to listen to you. I hate the doctors that before you've even finished what your symptoms are or your story is, they've already started talking about a different subject and whatnot. So find yourself a doctor that gives you 5 minutes, the extra 5 minutes. The two doctors that I just mentioned, but one of the first things that they both say is, how are you? How are you doing? How has it been? But they don't jump in, they don't cut you off, they wait for you to finish. It's almost like a venting. They give you a chance to get out what you need to get out, because sometimes half the battle is just that, being able to talk to somebody that gets you, that understands you. Oh, excuse me. I'm lucky that my wife truly understands, but there's even some things I can't tell her. I'm not going to tell you guys either, but you know, it happens. Sorry, I got flies and bugs, and I don't think I'm unclean, but you know, this is Malta. Yeah, doctors. You need to find one that sort of understands your symptoms, understands exactly what you're going through. I finally got through to my doctor that my tablets they weren't working well enough. I was getting no effects, and this was when I got to the cocodamol, and then we figured out that most people, they take one cocodamol and they get a bit loopy in the head, get great pain relief from it, and that's what I was being prescribed. It took 3 tablets at a time. Still didn't take the pain away, but it took it from a sharp stabbing pain to a blunt blade sticking in my joints. So we then sort of thought, well, if that was the case with the cocodamol, then surely that was the case with all of the tramadols, the Lyrica and all of that. Obviously I just wasn't taking enough. But I didn't have the desire to go back and try all of those tablets again. I don't know that many people that have had great success with any antidepressant drugs. I find it a bit insulting that we're giving antidepressants like, oh, you're just a bit down, so that's why you're feeling the way that you are. It's incredibly insulting. So if that's the only thing that they're willing on doing for you, then tell them to stuff it. The first few doctors that I had after the initial diagnosis weren't even willing on giving me any painkillers whatsoever. And during that period I was in bed the whole time. There's nothing I could do about it. In agony. Very dark, very depressed period of my life. And I wish to go back to every one of those doctors that weren't willing on and considering it, and give them a week of fibromyalgia and see how they like it. I'm sure they'll love it. I get quite spiteful when it comes to things like that. I want to be able to give these people fibromyalgia, even for a day. Bam. Once you've had it for a day, you will never be that inconsiderate and cruel again. Something that I would say be very careful with is sleeping tablets. I got great effect from a certain sleeping tablet. One of them made me so groggy the day afterwards that I was, let's just say I was unusable. You may as well just lock the door and leave me in there until the effects run out. Another sleeping tablet actually enabled me to sleep the full 8 hours, and I woke up with no side effects whatsoever. That was a great tablet. However, then the doctor informed me that that could only be taken for a maximum of 2 weeks. Geez, thanks pal. Nothing like teasing some medicine that helps you so well and then snapping it back instantly. So yeah, be careful with those tablets as well. I do find that there are some doctors out there that are very narrow-minded in their attitude. They're not willing on mixing or trying to find some sort of balance with the medicines. It's either this will work, if it doesn't work, there's nothing I can do about it. Again, that's rubbish. Everybody's different. If you feel that you're not getting the care that you deserve, then move on to the next doctor. There will be one out there. One thing that I did find out, and I assume that's the same the world over, is the internet's a wonderful thing. You know, several times I went in with hundreds of documents that I printed out. Well, this fibromyalgia sufferer got morphine from their doctor, and this one got this from their doctor. Why can't you give it to me? And don't be careful with that. Doctors have a tendency of climbing up when they've been to medical school for all those years and got that huge debt because of it, that you then come along with your 5-minute internet search and try to tell them that you know better. The way that I found to get around that was, listen, I found this out. How do you feel about it? How do you think that would that help me? Is that something that you could possibly consider? 9 times out of 10 after I learned that, I pretty much got what I wanted. You know, at the end of the day, this is your body, this is your life, and again, if they're not willing on improving your quality of life, then you need to move on. You have to move on, because or else I was going to the doctors. I had the appointment 2 days before, horrible stomachache. This is every time, this isn't just John A. Dodgy Curry. The day, literally throwing up, the shit, just pure nerves. And this is doctors that I'd known for years, but the psychological pressure of it all, the having to go in, and the feeling that you had to fight it. It's almost like you're going into a boxing match. Every time you go to the doctors, you have to be prepared for a physical fight. Not from their side, it's mental for them, but for you it's all physical. It's everything that you have to get to the doctor's surgery and to then have to fight your case every time. That's why finding a doctor that does know about fibromyalgia and does know is up to date on sort of treatments and things like that, it's worthwhile making the effort and doing that. It's the best thing, as I said, that I ever did, was finding doctors that give a shit. You have to find the doctor. You have to make the effort, even if you're on a bus for an hour to get there. It's the best bus journey that you've ever done. It's your health. It's things that improves your quality of life, and the doctors have to understand that. They have to see that without their assistance, without their help, you are bedridden, you are useless, you can't get up and help your kids, or maybe those that are lucky enough to get to to work for even part-time, you know, without the doctor's assistance and without the painkillers. That's sometimes impossible. For me, I don't have pain relief. I don't have that pain relief. What I have is pain management, where the stabbing pain's removed and replaced with a blunt knife. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still bloody painful. There's times when I'm walking along the street perfectly fine and whack, oh, that's it, got to sit down, can't move. But that's because the doctor that I have now knows exactly, you know, was willing on listening to me when it came to the numbness and the tingling in my joints that sometimes is worse than the pain itself. He understood, he cared. You have to find that doctor. Trust me, it's worthwhile making the effort. There was another thing I wanted to talk about, and I cannot remember what it was. Kommer tillbaka. Yes, I remember now what it was. To the doctors that say, get up and exercise, that will help you, that will make you all better. Go and fuck yourselves. Sorry to appear angry, but this is specifically to you fuckers. When a patient is telling you that they can't get from their bed to the toilet by themselves, they certainly can't go for a fucking walk. Pisses me off so fucking much to be told that by several doctors. Now, the way I sort of used their own statement to my advantage was, if I had pain management, pain relief, then I promise I will attempt to do that. To put that into a real world situation for you, begged, pleaded, grovelled to get as much help as I could. I suppose I should have the sun that side, shouldn't I? My apologies. And I was bedridden, completely bedridden, incapable of doing anything at home. I was fucking useless. My family pretty much didn't have a father or a husband. And I was then given the morphine patches, which it's not like an instant high. I didn't ever receive the high that other people get. They told me that it was just going to be, you know, some people get so high they throw up and you know have to lay down and stay in bed. But for me, again, it took a lot of the sharper pain away and replaced it with the numb pain. But it was more than what just the cocolamol was, and the patches took, I think it was 2 or 1 day to work. And when it finally kicked in, I was up, out, and for the first time in several months I'd done a 5-mile 7-kilometer walk. That's how noticeable it was. That's how quickly it helped and affected me. So when they tell you that, you know, get out and exercise, well, you need that pain medication, that pain management first to do that. Yeah, okay, have a good day, take care, bye. Hi, I know I said goodbye earlier, but there was one more thing that popped into my head. The other reason why it's important, really important, to find a doctor that gives a shit, that cares, that knows, that understands, is because they can also help you fight your case with your social office, the ones that don't believe that you're ill and don't give a shit. My last doctor in Norway, when they stopped, the social office stopped my money for the 2 years illegally, let me add. He was instrumental in me getting my money started again. He went out of his way. He tried everything that he could to speed up the process, more well beyond what he should have been doing for me. And that's what I mean by finding the right doctor. You need that person on your side, the one that's willing on putting the effort in to help you. That cares. He cared about his patients. He had other fibromyalgia sufferers, so he knew exactly what it was I was going through. And himself, he was disgusted at the social office and the way they treated me. And having that person on your side makes all the difference. Shaky camera. My arm's getting really sore. And I'm getting tired because I've walked quite far. See, behind, there's the city that I live in, and lovely. Look at it out here. Alright, so I didn't want to end the video on my angry statement about bad doctors. I wanted it to be a little bit more happier than that. So, right, you have a good day today. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, sorry. One last thing. Sorry, things keep on popping into my head. Such a complicated subject is the doctor subject. Stay strong, stay positive. If you get a no from your doctor, even though you've heard that they're good doctors, keep on pushing, keep on pressing them. Don't stalk them, don't go over the top, but keep on pushing your case. Don't give up. There's times when I felt like giving up and my wife said, no, you need to keep on this. We know that that specific tablet can help you, so keep on pushing. So I kept on going back to the doctor and saying, listen, I found this new information, please can you consider it? Worst case scenario, you stop in 2 weeks after it turns out that I was wrong. You know, put the onus on you, make it, you know, if I've made a mistake, then obviously it's my life that is going to be made worse for it. Yeah, also, the one thing that I don't know, I've actually read on several forums about this, and it's an important subject and one that's very serious, and that is addiction. Unfortunately, and due to the illness that we all have, addiction is a serious consideration. A lot of people are on morphine, a lot of people are on very, very strong tablets, and you can get addicted. The doctor that I talked about that was in my corner, the really good doctor, was actually one that I had to prove to him that I wasn't addicted. The hardest month and a half of my fucking life, let me tell you. Because I was on the morphine, I was on the co-codamol tablets to help, and he said that he was unhappy thinking that I was addicted due to the amount of tablets that I was taking, even though we'd already discussed the quantity that I was having to take was much more than anybody else was having to take. But of course he was then having to probably justify that to the licensing board, why is this patient on so many? So to prove to him, I went cold turkey on both the morphine patches and the co-codamol. Now, as you can imagine, it was fucking hard. Anybody that goes cold turkey on any strong drugs, it's no easy thing. I mean, the side effects were absolutely fucking horrendous. But in doing that, it kind of proved the point that I needed more of these specific drugs to get any type of effect, because my doctor said that, you know, I should have literally been hospitalized. With the amount that I was taking to stop, my body would have gone into shock and I would have, you know, been in hospital. But because that never happened, it also proved the fact that I do require a higher dose than most people. But I stopped for a month and a half, cold turkey. Hardest thing I've ever done, because obviously the pain came back with a fucking vengeance. And it gets quite upsetting just even thinking about it, because my wife had to watch me going through this period of I don't know what's the best way to put it, the pitchfork in hell up your arse with no lubrication, hot iron, burnt all over, a separate mini pitchfork in every joint, all preheated obviously to 1,000 degrees for a month and a half. And that's what I had. But I then went back to him after a month and a half and I said, right, see, I'm not addicted. Because I'd already shown him several times, you know, that he was either late with a prescription, or I wanted to sort of prove to myself that I wasn't addicted, so I wouldn't pick up the prescription for an extra week just to show myself, because it was really important for me, so I knew that I wasn't addicted. So I would go through a week of hell just to prove that I wasn't addicted. And after then, I pretty much got the medication that I needed. And 2 morphine patches, 25 milligrams sounds like a lot, micrograms. I said I was going to check that out on one of my earlier videos, I forgot. When I arrived in Malta, and obviously it was when the sun was at its hottest, so I felt, and this is no exaggeration, I felt like Superman. I had unlimited energy, I could do whatever I fucking wanted. The pain was virtually gone, the energy level was like, I swear to God, I was on frickin' speed. I could just do what I wanted when I wanted, I didn't stop. I think the first few weeks of living here, we were walking like 20 kilometers a day with the kids, bless them, but they were all up for it as well because it was all exciting. That all worked great. Unfortunately, because of the humidity here, my patches kept falling off, and the decision was made at that point that I had to come off the patches. And since then, my superpowers were gone, and that's hard. That's hard to have had a window into what it could be and having that taken from you. Now, I could have pushed for morphine injections. I once tried morphine suppositories. Yes, that's where it goes up your butt, but my system's not very good down there, and A, I don't want things up my butt, and B, the gases felt like my insides were exploding outwards like a grenade, so I can't use those. But I didn't want to get into taking the injections. Maybe I don't know. Maybe in the future. I did want my superpowers back. So, but again, now I have to build up my relationship with my new doctor so that he doesn't think that I'm just a drug seeker coming in for this and that and whatnot. So yeah, so don't give up. It is worthwhile trying to find the best doctor. It is worthwhile having them on your side, and it will take a lot of effort from your part. You can't just go into a doctor and expect them to be yes merchants. Yes, 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 have this, yes, have that, they don't work like that. You have to go in and let them apply their trade, let them show you their capabilities in most cases, and more importantly, show them respect. That's the most important thing. Show them the respect that they deserve. Unless they're being dicks, then tell them to go f*** themselves. Right, have a good day. Bye-bye.